New tonight at 5, a terrible scene in Kearny Mesa after a multi-vehicle crash involving an ambulance. This happened just before 3 this afternoon on Kearny Villa Road and Arrow Drive.
News 8's Shannon Handy is live in Kearny Mesa with what we know right now. Shannon?
Carlo and Barberly, the north and southbound lanes of Kearny Villa Road between Balboa and Arrow are still closed as investigators try and figure out what happened. Now, a total of 3 vehicles were involved, including the 2 you see behind me, the ambulance and that sedan. 5 people suffered minor to major injuries. Among the victims, an EMT and a paramedic. A mangled mess on Kearny Villa Road in Kearny Mesa Thursday afternoon following a 3-vehicle crash involving an ambulance and 2 sedans.
We had a person drive up that said they'd just seen this accident, so we responded. What we had was a 3-vehicle accident, including one of our medic unit, Medic 15.
It happened just before 2:30, less than a block from Station 28 in San Diego Fire's logistics and dispatch facility. So emergency crews were on the scene almost instantly. When they arrived, 2 men were trapped in this Infiniti, going in and out of consciousness. In the ambulance, no patients inside, but the female EMT driver and the male paramedic passenger couldn't get out on their own.
Basically, they were trapped inside. They had various injuries. One went unconscious briefly, but did come back. They were both trapped either in their limbs or just by the way the compartment had intruded onto them.
Extra crews were called to help extricate the 4 patients. They were all transported with major injuries. A 5th patient, a man driving this Hyundai, suffered minor injuries. As for how this happened, that's what officials are trying to figure out. Skid marks appear to show at least one of the vehicles veered from the northbound lanes into the southbound lanes. The damage seems to indicate a head-on impact. Battalion Chief Matt Nilsson says while every patient is their top priority, saving one of your own adds a different dynamic.
But you do know when you drive up, when you see one of your own involved, you know, there's that question is, what happened?
And back out here live, you can see those skid marks I mentioned. Now, investigators will continue to stay out here for some time, but no word yet on exactly when Kearny Villa Road will reopen. As for that ambulance, it's usually stationed just down the street, so it's possible that that EMT and that paramedic were heading there just before the crash. Back to you.